Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mondays with Matt. And the theme of today's show is elevating your perspective. For those of you that don't know, welcome to Mondays with Matt. This is my weekly show on personal development, transformation, all the things that make life worth living that I'm studying every day. My name is Matt Shaffer, and I am a transformational speaker and coach for women. I coach women around empowerment, connection, relationship, and all these things that I'm so passionate about, and I'm so grateful for the work that I do. And if you're joining us from YouTube, welcome. Take a second, hit that little subscribe button. I'm always uploading new content, and I'd love to have you as part of the tribe. So happy to have you for a special morning edition from the Cannoli Palace. I don't know if you can see, but this is my view from the Cannoli Castle. Elevating your perspective, because I have found throughout the course of my own life that there's literally nothing more important and nothing more powerful than the perspective that we live our lives from. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if that makes sense to you. Our perspective is truly the creator of our reality. And so what would it look like for you to elevate your perspective, right? Because in order for us to elevate our perspective and truly create and give ourselves the power to control our reality, we need to know the perspective that we're operating from right now. We need to really check in and look at where we're at right now. And I'll tell you, like this house has been a great check-in point for me. Being around Drew is actually a great check-in point for me because I've known Drew for some years. And for those of you who don't know Drew Cannoli, he's the founder and sort of chief visionary officer, CVO of a company called Organifi. And they make health food products and incredible products. They're distributed worldwide, all over the world. And he's an incredibly successful, incredibly powerful, magnetic human and man. And when I first met Drew, I was awestruck by him. And when I would come to his house and I would see the level of success that he has, and I would see like all the things that he was creating in his life, because of my perspective, it actually triggered me. It actually sort of bothered me in a weird way to see everything that he had created, because from my perspective, I wanted what he had. Like, he had the life basically the life of my dreams in a lot of ways, but I didn't see any way that I could ever have it. My perspective on life was that I was sort of stuck where I was at, and he had created this, empire, right? And so I would actually be triggered by his success. And that was the perspective I was operating from. And do you think that the perspective that I had in that moment, the perspective I had in experiencing his abundance, do you think that was helping me or hurting me? Was it helping me get to where he was at, or was it holding me back? What do you think? Because here's the thing, if from your perspective, and it's a great way to sort of gauge where your perspective is at, is to ask yourself, how do I feel and how do I respond to the success of other people? How do I respond to people who may be further along whatever path you want to be on, the economic path or the spiritual path, or wherever you're really wanting to advance and grow? If you're getting triggered, if you're bothered by the success of others or by where other people are at, then that's a perspective that I really encourage you to shift, right? I encourage you to shift your perspective around the success and advancement of other people. Because until we can learn to celebrate the abundance and the success and the profound achievements of those around us as examples of what's possible, rather than, a jealous, somebody who got lucky. Until we can shift our perspective there, we're not going to be calling that in for ourselves, right? And this is the first time I've seen Drew in a year since I left San Diego, and it's a true sign of how my perspective has shifted, that now when I walk into this beautiful house and I see all this incredible, gorgeous castle that he's got here in Mount Helix, that instead of it bothering me, right? I mean, look at this view. It's absolutely astonishing. And as I look at this now, whereas even a year ago or a couple years ago, I would have been like, almost like bothered by what it is that this man has created and what I'm experiencing. But now I'm exhilarated by it. I'm exhilarated by it because I see it as just an example of what's possible for me, and just an example of sort of a preview of sort of where I'm headed, right? Because my perspective has shifted from one of scarcity and one of uncertainty and one of insecurity to one of excitement and possibility and expansiveness. And so what would it look like for you? What would it look like for you to embrace a perspective of expansiveness, a perspective of limitlessness, a perspective of whatever is possible for anyone is possible for me? Because the perspective I operate from is that I am absolutely infinite. And that the life, and that this world that we exist in, this three-dimensional world that we exist in, is a playground for us to see and experience what's possible for us to expand our perspective, expand our consciousness, expand our understanding of who we are to the maximum point that's possible, which is, there are no limits on that. There is no ceiling on that. Give me a 1 if you connect with that. Give me a 1 if you can relate to the value of expanding and elevating your perspective of who you are and what's possible for you in your life. Can you all relate to that? So step one in this process is to look at the perspective from which you're operating at right now. Look at how you experience the success and advancement of others. When you see somebody who's in that relationship, in a relationship that would be a dream for you, do you feel jealousy? Do you feel resentment towards that person? Or do you feel joy? Do you feel excitement? Right? The way that you respond to emotionally and cognitively to the success of other people is going to give you a great indicator of where your perspective is at and where you get to shift it in order to elevate it. Because anything that has occurred in the lives of anybody else is possible for you. Anything that somebody else has created and achieved is possible for you. No one is no greater or any less than you. Everything that people create in their lives is a direct byproduct and a direct result of their vibration, of their decisions, of their energy, of their thoughts, and of the way they've chosen to manage their lives. The way they've chosen to orient their perspective and their understanding of who they are. The stories that they've created about who they are and what's possible for them. And that's a great deal of power. That's a great deal of control that you have. The only thing you have control over is how you choose to manage your thoughts and your feelings and your energy. Can you relate to that? Give me a 1 if you can relate to that in your own life. This incredible vista that I'm experiencing, right? The life that I see Drew has created for himself, from the perspective that I'm operating from now, it no longer feels like this fantasy. It no longer feels like I no longer have created this, false narrative that Drew somehow got lucky. Drew didn't get lucky. I don't know anybody who consciously manages their mindset and their energy and their body at a deeper level day in and day out than Drew. What Drew has created in his life is a direct result of him managing his consciousness, managing his perspective, managing his life proactively and with a deep intuitive sense and responsibility. This is what happens. You can craft and create your dream life by elevating your perspective. Because look at what would it look like for you to take your perspective. Once you get a sense of where you're at, what your perspective is on who you are and what's possible for you, what would it look like for you to elevate that? What would your dream life look like? And does your dream life, as you currently see it and conceive of it, does it cause you feelings of despair? Does it cause you feelings of hopelessness? Does it cause you feelings of anxiety? If that's what happens, if that's the feelings that come up for you when you think about your best possible life, then some things need to shift in you. You need to look at your beliefs. You need to look at your narratives and stories that you've created about who you are and how powerful you are and what you're capable of creating. Because your dream life shouldn't trigger you. Your ideal relationship shouldn't break your heart. All that stuff should be exciting to you, and if it's not, you get to look at your underlying beliefs, because if there is any sort of incongruence between the life that you want and the vision that you have and the perspective that you want to have and your beliefs, if there's a disconnect there, your beliefs will always win, because your beliefs are that engine, they are that driver of your life. You have to shift your beliefs to come into alignment with the perspective of the life that you want to have. Give me a 1 if you can relate to that, guys, because this is the thing. We get to take responsibility. We get to take responsibility for the perspective that we have in our lives right now and recognize that nobody else can create that for us. Nobody else can create that for us. Nobody else can create the life that we want. That is our responsibility. That is our power. That is our gift. That is our blessing. Cherie is right. You are what you think. You are what you think. You are what you feel. You are the energy that you choose to adopt in response to the world around you. So choose to respond, not to just react. Choose to operate from possibility and from conscious management of your perspective, not from wounds and unconscious triggers and limiting beliefs and all these invisible ninja forces seeking to get you to play small, seeking to get you to back down. All of this egoic bullshit, seeking to try to get you to go back in your box. It's too late. You can never go back into your box. You can never go back to that limited perspective of who you are. Louisa knows, Mikkel knows, all of my clients know, all of my students know, all of y'all know, as followers of my show, I have chosen to live my life as an embodiment of possibility. And it scares the crap out of me on a regular basis. But you know what? There is no turning back. Vibke knows. Vibke totally knows. And Louisa says, no one gets to tell us how to do it. Our journeys are all unique. Exactly. And that's why I'm not being super specific here, because I'm not here how to tell you to live your life. I'm not here how to tell you how to manage your thoughts and your feelings. I'm not here to tell you what your dream life looks like or what your perspective gets to be. All I'm here to tell you is that wherever you're at, there's a bigger game available to you. Wherever you're at, there's more available to you. I was talking to Drew this morning. This is a man who's, got tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars of business that he's built in his life. He has achieved everything that he wants. He's living his vision from this beautiful mountaintop in Mount Helix. But guess what? He's feeling a little lost. Like he doesn't know what's next for him. He's gotten everything he wants. And you know what he told me this morning? He told me he feels like he's playing small. Can you imagine? But look at that. Even he, with everything he has created, with everything he's achieved in his life, he's recognizing that for the capacity of what's possible for him, by his own possibility, he's playing small, and that there is more waiting for him. How exciting is that? No matter what your vision is, the universe will give it to you, and then it will ask you, what else? What's next? What more do you want to create? So stop playing small. Stop settling for what you have. What you have around you right now is just a byproduct of what you wanted 6 months ago, what you wanted a year ago, what you wanted 3 years ago. Take this to another level. What do you want to create moving forward? What you have around you what you have around you right now is already in the past. Start looking ahead. Start elevating your perspective. What does your mountaintop castle in Mount Helix look like? This is Drew's vision. And even he recognizes that this is already the past. He's got a greater thing coming for him, and he's actively looking for that right now because he is consciously elevating his perspective every day of his life. He's constantly chasing that new version of himself from a joyful, limitless perspective. Give me a 1 if you're committed to doing that, because that's the Matt challenge this week, is to look at the perspective that you have right now in your life and look at how limited it may be. Look at what it would look like for you to elevate it. What would your dream life look like? And if you don't feel good about that, shift those beliefs, shift those thoughts, shift that narrative, step into limitless possibility. Move forward powerfully, courageously. You can move forward fearfully. I don't care what feelings you have around it. You just get to move. Are you with me? Louisa loves Drew's honesty. Me too. I love how transparent and vulnerable and powerful Drew is in the way that he lives his life. And he sets the bar for me. He sets the way he plays his life, and the way he plays the game of his life is the standard by which I am setting the way that I live my life and operate in my life. Okay? So, have somebody in your life, have mentors, have people that, serve as your inspiration. Truly, look at those people and use them not as people to be jealous of and to resent, but people to be inspired by. People to serve as beacons of possibility for you, because whatever is possible for them is possible for you. Find your mountaintop on Mount Helix. Aspire to create it and get excited about the journey of moving towards it. Learn to joyfully elevate your perspective. Are you with me? I hope so, and I hope that this resonated with you. I hope it inspired you, because guys, I am lit up and I'm ready to go hop on a plane and fly back to my little puppy Bosco, who is now fortunately, gratefully, joyfully out of the hospital. He's back home. So let's give Bosco a 1. Thank you for your loving, kind words. He's had acute pancreatitis. It was really scary over the weekend, but he's home now, and I'm so excited to get home to my little boy. He's eating a little bit. He's on the road to recovery. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, take a second, hit that little subscribe button, and don't forget to click the link in the comments or caption. I've created a great training that I know is going to help you in your life and in your relationships. So lots of love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.